Tonight we're going to look at Parisian design house parts of 4. They make jewelry, animal totems, modern shamanism, artifacts, bowls, crystals, everything that you could possibly want. This was the first jewelry that I ever bought for myself personally. I've always just worn this, my grandfather's ring, but I've never bought anything else until now. So I bought 3 bracelets about 3 months ago or so. I've had them for a while, and I've got some things to share with you. Things like sizing, materials, how they're made. Got to talk about cost, price. It can't be avoided. Of course, we're going to talk about the design, do a little review of everything. Definitely going to talk about my reactions, other people's reactions, style them with a few new pieces from Rick. And finally, at the end, there's going to be a brief announcement about the channel and its direction going forward. If you're a subscriber or you're interested, stay tuned for that. So a brief overview of my interest in this particular company. I remember years ago when I was a big fan of Rick, but I didn't own any Rick. I was looking at some pictures and videos. He had on these bracelets, and it was like a cuff or a shackle. I was just so interested in it because, in my opinion, the core of Rick Owens' aesthetic is almost his body. So to put something on it, there was just like a lot of contradictions there. It was like, is it restraint? Is it adornment? Is it performativity? They weren't cute, they weren't precious, they were big declarative metal things. So I did a lot of research. Evan Sugarman is the synthesist creative behind the brand. I checked it out. It had a lot of cool things that I like. I'm into analog synthesis, attractive design. They had 3D design, interesting photography, modern shamanism, for lack of a better term. There was a lot of really thoughtful thinking behind the process of making, and then just kind of the designs themselves were very sculptural. The biggest difficulty off the bat was just picking 3. They make things out of water buffalo, they make things out of coral, they make things out of mammoth bone. It was a buy 2, get 1 extra free. Eventually I did settle on 3 of them. They're all very different. Here they are. We'll take a look at each one of them and talk a little bit more about it. So here was the first one, and this one came from Paris. It has a specimen grade sample of something in the beryl family called Heliodor. This one is not listed in their crystal metaphysics, but they have the metaphysical properties of all of the various crystals. For example, iolite is good for addiction recovery or psychic abilities, those sorts of things. It was fun to look at the various properties and think, oh, that's something that would be interesting, or like, yeah, sure, if it does that, that's great. Regardless of your particular beliefs, it's fun to look at, fun to get into, because all of the gems really do have their own personality, just like all of the designs sort of have their own personality. But in terms of design family, this one is from their Systema collection. Those are the ones that I saw Rick wearing, and that was one of the first times I saw that. I just said, huh, this looks so cool. Here's my very own. It does open. It's got a little notch right there, closes all the way up, and this is fully cast silver, so solid all the way around. It is heavy, and that feels good. When you wear it on your wrist, it just feels so solid and heavy. I went to go see some family not too long ago, and my mom said, you know, what's that? And so I showed it to her, and I put it on the wrist, and she said, God, what do you wear that thing for? It's so heavy. Which is exactly the kind of response you want. If your parents think it's cool, then it's definitely not cool. Pro tip, with this big heavy one, I was able to use it to open a bottle for a friend of mine, so you can use it for that. The other thing I noticed about it is that the crystal color was not as deep as it was listed on the website. It was a little more desaturated in color when I got it. That disappointed me a little bit, although that disappointment left very quickly. But I think what it is that on the website, the colors are saturated, which is not deceptive in any way. Any photographer or whatever worth their salt is going to saturate their image If they didn't, they wouldn't be doing their part on behalf of their client. Just know that what you're seeing on the website may be a little bit saturated. That was my experience, so I had to mention it. So when I got it, it was matte, it was silver, but not shiny, and it was already starting to tarnish just a touch. Now it's tarnished, and I like it. I don't think that I would change that. I don't know if I'm gonna polish it or clean it. I'm just not sure I care to do that, at least at this point. It just kind of looks better and better. I really enjoyed this one. It's been a lot of fun wearing it. Second one is this one. This was the one that I got for free out of the 3 for 2 deal. This one was the most economical of the 3, and so this is the one that code magically made free for me. It has 2 Herkimer quartz. It is faceted stone as well, so it does twinkle. It is in a druid shape, and this one is in the tombac, which is one of the more economical metals. It has copper content, zinc, tin. It's kind of a mixture of metals, but it has a nice, almost like a hammered texture, and it is hollow inside, which makes it easy to wear because it's not too heavy. It was also a little tight when I got it, but I was able to just kind of tug on it and open it up a little bit, no problem. If I had to pick a little bit at this one, it would be that it does lose its bronze coloring. I did get it so that it would kind of match my ring. I was going to wear it on my right hand. It seems like it rubs off either in the places of the most use, or it's possible that it's rubbing off more along the seams of where the 3D shape is soldered together. You can kind of see where those seams are. But I'm of two minds about that. On the one hand, it'd be great if it could have stayed that color. On the other hand, as it gets rubbed, there's a little bit of verdigris coming through, a little bit of that greenish formation that happens on copper, and I love that color. It's one of my favorites. It's only in a few spots right now. The more the better. I just love that color. Also, my partner named this one the Goblin King bracelet when I got it, so that immediately shot it to the top of my favorites list. Last is this one, and it's a great shape because you can wear it like this with the banded part on top, or you can wear it like this with a little bit of opening right there, and it looks great both ways. It is maybe the lightest of the 3 because, again, this is hollow and it's silver plate. I mean solid silver, but it's a hollow 3D shape of solid silver, so you know it's got plenty of scratches on it. It'll get more and more. It's just silver behind it, so it's just not gonna look bad. It's got, you know, a lot of sweat and kind of grime and gunk that is built up in there, but I like that, and I don't think that I will polish it in the near future. Maybe just give it a rinse or something like that. But the more scratched it has gotten, the more grimy it has gotten, the less flashy it has gotten, and it blends in better with the other bracelets, and it's just not so glaringly mirror finished, and I have preferred that. This shape and the finish of it, I think, make it the most modern, the most contemporary. It's almost like a visual trick, you know, because it looks flat when it's like this, and then you turn it and it has all of this shape behind it. So one of the big questions I had was on sizing. They have good measurements on their website, and if you're going to take your own measurements to try and get the diameter of your wrist, take your wrist, take a piece of white paper, put your wrist down on the piece of white paper, take a pencil and trace the outline of your wrist this way and this way, and try and get that pencil tip as close as you can to that skin, and there you go. You'll have the diameter of your wrist. From there, you'll be fine. You know, don't worry about it. They have an incredible exchange policy, which is exchange it as many times until you get the right piece. When I first got them, I would do them in different combinations and wear them both and wear all of them or wear two. I think that went by the wayside pretty quickly. And that is because if I'm wearing these and I'm wearing my neck wallet, which has other accessories on it, big heavy things, and I'm wearing these, it's just a lot. It's just a lot going on. And I almost feel like you can't even see all of them or take it all in. And so there are some times where I feel personally, and this is just personally, that less is more. If I'm gonna wear two, it's probably going to be these two. And for the simple reason that they both have flat lines across the top, which just feels right to me. Other people's reactions, people definitely like them. This one gets a lot of compliments because it's such an interesting shape. A lot of people like this one. And it's fun to be able to choose the different ones and choose which kind of personality you're gonna take out. If I could only keep one, I'd keep this one. It's big, it's heavy. I love that it closes all the way around. The stone speaks to me. If I was gonna buy more stuff from Parts of 4, I would probably buy a ring, maybe a ring for my thumb or a ring for my pointer finger. They've got these diamond slabs that I'm really interested in. I've never owned any diamonds or anything with diamonds on it. I just kind of want to see, do they twinkle? If I got more bracelets, I would definitely get two of the same, one for each wrist. I think the same thing that is appealing about that is the same thing that is appealing about when people say, this is my personal uniform. And you think to yourself, oh yeah, it might be really nice to like wear the same thing every day. And there's some kind of like discipline about it. I don't know what that allure is. I would never want to wear the same thing every day. But it has that same sort of appeal. So of course, we have to talk about pricing. Definitely the 3-for-2 deal helps take some of the sting out of it, but it is expensive. So in terms of raw materials, sterling silver as of today is about $25 an ounce, so pretty cheap. The gem specimens can also be gotten pretty reasonably. So, I mean, if you were to look at the cost of the materials alone, it might not be that much, but I think you're buying a lot more than just the raw materials. There's a lot more that goes into the price. I mean, it's the storefront in Paris, it's the workshop and design studio in Bali, it's all of the employees, all of the years of design that has gone into this. You're paying for these very unique, one-of-a-kind designs, and I think that's worth paying for. It's worth supporting. I've never regretted the purchase of these bracelets. So I've told you a little bit about Parts of 4, how it's made. Definitely check out their Instagram. It's got a lot of cool stuff. I love that they show you the process and the wax casting and how it's made. That's way cool. And they're making those NFTs. There's a lot of really fun design stuff and a lot of thought that goes into the various facets of that company and that business, and it's been fun to learn about. My hat goes off to them. Finally, an announcement about the channel. What I've noticed is I've set the production bar a little too high, and I love to do the well-produced videos, but I'm just one person and doing all the lighting, etc. I won't bore you with the details, but it takes a long time, and meeting that own personal expectation for me has made me a lot slower in putting out videos. It would be better to get a lot of those videos out more frequently, because at this point I'm getting backlogged Rick Owens items, and I want to go ahead and show them to you, but sometimes the task is too daunting to make those really involved videos on top of my job and the relationships that I need to maintain, and the chores I need to do, and the fun I need to have. So this is my way of saying more frequent videos, picking my spots for the involved production, and I hope you understand. Don't subscribe, and I'll see you next time.